Hello, viewers. I'm SB, and welcome to Last Call BBS. So named because it is the final Zachtronics game. I'm bringing you this with some real mixed emotions here. I love Zachtronics, and I've never really featured one of their puzzle games on the channel because I used to be too scared to do puzzle games in Let's Play format. It can be a nerve-wracking thing. We did play Mobius Front. Mobius Front is not, I think, my favorite Zachtronics thing. But I really wanted to... I told myself, you know what? When the next time they put out a puzzle game, we're going for it. After the success of the Baba Is You series and everything, we're just going to go for it. And then it turned out this is the final one they're ever going to do. So I guess I'm glad at least that I got the chance. It's true, Zachtronics is over after this, as far as I know. Well, I mean, not exactly... I believe that they are still planning to release one more thing, a collection that contains all of the different solitaire games from across all of their titles, but this is the last new stuff game. And I'm bummed out about that, but also excited to get in here. So we have booted up our Sawayama Power Lance. It had a very satisfying old school boot noise, which I will try to capture on future episodes. And here we are, looking at our handy mate. Welcome, ask and you shall receive. This is my old Sawayama machine, all set up like it was back then. I even got the BBS running again, so you can dial in and download more of these retro games. I have to admit, I'm still getting used to that term. Anyway, the story of all this stuff is also a story about people. So I wrote a few notes about how I came across these things, and whatever else came to mind as I was getting it ready. You might find it interesting, you might not. It's there either way. Have fun. So I really don't know exactly what we're getting into here. Okay, that's the only note we have. Is there anything in the address book? There is not. Are these? Yeah, these buttons do that same thing. Okay, that's kind of what I thought it might do. I guess let's just... I mean, we should check out the solitaire, right? This is a Zachtronics tradition. This looks like a pretty classic, Is this gonna... Generally, these have like a twist or something. Generally, something weird happens at some point. Okay. It looks to me like we're already in not a great spot here. Alright, we can work with that. Where am I? Okay, we do not have a lot of... We have a red 8 showing. This is kind of a rough setup. I don't play a lot of real solitaire. Okay, that's pretty helpful. Our other jack is under this 8, which is awkward. Oh, okay. It gets less awkward. Yeah, keep moving. That's the 2 of clubs under there. Well, I guess revealing this king doesn't really help us. Let's get this out of the way. Okay, so this... Is this it? It doesn't... Few rules. Hey, why don't we start there? Stock cards by alternating colors and decreasing values. Classic. Any card or stack can be moved into an empty column. Clicking on the deck will deal additional cards 3 at a time. When the deck is empty, it can be used to store a single card. Ah, okay. And we have to form stacks. It's very, very classic solitaire, except this part's a little bit different than I'm used to. Well, I do feel like we can put this 5 here, so we can move this out of the way, get ourselves a couple of cards off the table. And then we have a spot for you. Unfortunately, so we can drop the queen over there, move that 4 down, but having the black 7 available doesn't actually help us. I think we're still in pretty bad shape here. I think we're just done? Well, okay, this is the 3 of spades. Hold on. If we move the jack up here, Three of spades can be placed over there, which lets us do this, which lets us unearth some things a little bit. Is that as far as it goes? My other red eight's all the way over there. I would need... Where's my three of hearts? Is like way down in the deck. The other ace is... The other ace is under here. Yeah, we need a... Yeah, I think we're done. Listen, I never claimed to be great at solitaire. I believe I claimed the opposite. Here, let's give it one more go. And then we'll play some actual, like, you know, some puzzles. These are puzzle games. I guess I didn't say that explicitly. Let's get you out of the way. And I think that's actually all of the... Yeah, that's all that we have for the moment. Okay, a couple of aces straight up. That's pretty cool. Do not have a lot of exposed tens, sadly. Does it matter which black 9 I put this onto? I don't think it really does. Well, I guess, okay, let's put it on this one. Because in theory, if we end up emptying the deck, we might want to be able to bump this 9 up to there so we have an empty space. Obviously not a lot we could do with a king in this configuration. 5 is no good. That's handy enough. This 5 is doing nothing for us. Do we have our 2? No, we don't have our 2 of spades yet. So it's possible we could just flip that off and... Yeah, I guess let's go ahead and get it out of the deck rather than leaving it in there. Okay, so... Red 9s we don't really have access to. We can bump this over to this jack, though. If we find that 2 of spades in a position where we can pull it immediately, it is going to clean things up a bit. Wait, where is the 2 of spades? Because this is... Oh, the 2 of spades is right here. It's in the middle of the thing. Well, that's an awkward place for it to be. Okay, if we pull this 4 over to here, let's just move the queen jack 10, then dump the 9 on top of it. You can have a hard time getting access to a black jack. And in fact, we don't have any easy... The only red 5 that doesn't already have a black 4 on it is not something we have easy access to. Oh, what am I doing? That's not how those work. This goes here, that goes there. But yeah, the black jack problem is pretty serious. Oh, never mind. It's like actually 100% fine. And that gives us an opening. Red queen. We'll try to get there. So, if we slide this jack over, it doesn't immediately solve anything. Oh, we can do this. Should definitely do that. Because that opens some stuff up for us. So let's move a king. That gives us a little bit of space to play with. I actually have a whole suit here, or a whole actual stack, which is really nice. Where is... This is bad. The other black queen being all the way at the bottom of the pile is pretty rough. Well, we can maintain one open space by doing that. Okay, if we pull this over to here, drop the 4 on that, and then open up the space, we can then pull the jack down to here. We can keep one spot open through that whole sequence. May as well. It's available, right? Just keep untangling it. Okay, we're starting to make some decent headway here. Where's that the other ace is under Jack Queen 6. So the other red 9 is under here. Do we have the black 10 is underneath it? This is really like a huge bummer that these are stacked exactly backwards. Because we can move the 8 over to this slot to drop the king down to here. And then move the queen onto the king. That maintains an open space. And that allows us to move the 9 into that open space if we want to. Here, actually, we should untangle this. We should get this consolidate where possible. Okay, so now we can move the 9 down to here, move the 8 onto it, move the 10 onto that, and I think we're good. Right, because we move you up to here. What was my plan? Alright, that opens that up, which lets us pull a whole bunch of cards. That's very satisfying to watch. I enjoy this. Okay, cool. We did it. Sawayama computers weren't too common in the West, but the people who got them were fanatically devoted to them. They were a little pricier, but they were classy too. Classy in a way computers today just aren't. You could tell the designers really considered the whole experience. I was into computers for a while before I got my first Sawayama, but I was really hooked by this little machine. In fact, I loved it so much I applied for a job with the company as a regional sales rep. I was surprised as anyone when I got it. Interesting. It's interesting that they really don't expect you to go for the solitaire game first. I wonder if there are more unlocks for winning multiple times. It has tended to be the case that whatever reward you get for solitaire, you get it up to like 5 or 10 wins, as far as I'm in the previous ones. And granted, it's never like anything significant. We're going to close that for right now. Let's have a look at this other stuff. So, open up the system folder. 500. I don't know what XB would be. I'm sure it's something. Let us not turn it off at the moment. It's the options menu. Of course it is. Why would I think it would be anything else? Hold the Alt key and click on text to read it aloud. That's a nice, what do you call it? A nice accessibility thing. Okay, HandyMate is the text thing, so I guess. Yes, it's a very classic old school sound. Let's dial into the BBS then. Is it going to do modem noises? All right, y'all, prepare yourself. It may make some modem noises. Obviously, the last call BBS is where the whole thing is like going to happen. So we're going to check these other ones first, of course. Equity first. Okay. Yeah, that's happening, but it's not nearly as loud as it could have been. Equity first investments. My mind is blown that, that this server is still up. Showing up-to-the-minute stock quotes was always a surefire demo, and it sold quite a few systems. Some guys' eyes would just light up. It was a big deal at the time, because otherwise you either looked up stock prices in the newspaper once or twice a day, or you called your broker to ask him what was happening. So this was a huge advantage. That is, if you were the kind of guy who cared about stocks. I wasn't. Now, every so often, I think about how cheap Axiom was back then and wonder what my life would be like now if I'd bought some. Well, you know, hindsight. Okay, so that's... None of this is terribly meaningful. Okay. I have actually no idea what this one's going to be. Oh, world's time. Sure, like straight up. Okay. Now, I know what you're thinking. A world clock. What's the big deal? Sure, I know it might not seem that impressive today, but you have to remember this was before everything was networked together. Dialing into that world time server was the first time I realized, hey, I'm really connected to the whole world through this thing. It's hard to describe what that feeling was like, but I suppose that's why you're into these old machines in the first place. Isn't that right? You're looking for that same rush of excitement I felt when I realized computers would change the world. So I'm not quite this old. I'm not BBS old. I'm from like the era like right after that. I'm AOL old, I guess is. But I do like I even though I did not personally live through the use of computers in the 80s because I, had just been born. I do have a kind of a weird nostalgia for it. All right. Let's see what's up out here on the last call BBS. Also, I feel like that's a much shorter version of the modem connect noise than you usually get. Okay, come on in. Take a seat and let the barkeep serve up something you never knew you needed. Press a key to view more information about a file. I started this BBS thinking nobody would really use it, so imagine my surprise when the first user dialed in. Then the next, and then the next. I like to think it was a big community success story, although you can't argue with the free downloads either. People used to call that wares, and the computer industry called it illegal piracy. I won't try to justify it. I just wanted to share the cool stuff I found, a lot of which you couldn't get any other way. For a while, Last Call was about as big a BBS as you could find in the Kansas City area. That was important in the era of long. That was important in the era of long distance telephone fees. Yeah, the logistics of having to connect to the internet via your phone line is like really a huge bummer in a large number of ways. Well, Dungeons and Diagrams sounds like my kind of jam. The point of this game is to figure out what the map looks like by filling in squares according to the numbers on the top and side. Oh, it's a nonogram thing, I guess. It's a fun puzzle and good to kill time with. Stick it to the man by putting it on your work terminal if you don't think the boss will see. Any trouble you get in at the office is your own responsibility. Barkeep's difficulty rating 3. Awesome old school ASCII skulls. Absolutely download the file. You probably couldn't hear the sound of my facial muscles creaking, but when I realized it was going to make us actually wait the 90 seconds, I'm kind of overjoyed. I'm kind of overjoyed about that decision. There's a fidelity of experience being reproduced here that that I think is very impressive and cool. And it's probably good for us to have like a little puzzle to play while we're downloading bigger puzzles. Hopefully, it'll actually let me do that. So I wrote a thread about this coincidentally. I wrote a thread on Twitter where I talked about like my first real experience playing games on computers, and it was on a computer that's probably was definitely older than this is supposed to be because the Sawayama here has a windowing toolkit. It has an OS with a windowing toolkit. The first the first computers that I used predate. Yeah, they were just DOS machines. It was like an X286 or something. Um, and all of the games that I had were pirated because we were poor, and also the people who got the computer for me didn't know anything about video games. You have reached your download quota. Sure. Hang up and call back in 15 actual real world minutes. All right. Well, let's try it out then. Let's give it a little go. Can I position this such that I'll be able to see that timer? Okay. Yeah, so it's sort of a nonogram kind of thing. Can I just click on a treasure chest to open it? I cannot. Do we have a rules document? Hello, tutorial. Hark, brave adventurer. In this game, you must use logic to complete the dungeon map by placing walls in the correct spaces. I love the art style of this game. The number next to each row indicates how many walls it contains. Left click to place. Every empty space in a map is part of either a treasure room or a hallway. Right click to mark empty. Treasure rooms are always 3x3 with a single entrance and a single chest. Chests can be in any of the spaces. Every monster is in a dead end, and every dead end contains a monster. All empty spaces connect into a single contiguous shape. Diagonal spaces are never considered to be adjacent. Hallways are always one space wide. Outside of treasure rooms, there will never be a 2x2 block of empty spaces. Okay, that's a cool variant. So, we know there's no walls here. We know if there are 7 walls in this column, and there's 8 total spaces, it's got to be these 6 and either the top or the bottom, right? That gives us the only wall in this row. Oh, it lets me overwrite them. Now the groupings don't have to be contiguous. Here, we know this. Those are the four walls in that column for sure. And we know that these also must be true because the monsters have to be part of the single contiguous hallway, right? And I guess that means these also have to be. I probably don't actually have to draw the markers of the empty space. These have to be because those are the only 4 spaces left that can be walls. This is all empty. This is the 3x3. There we go. That's one. This is a really neat little game. How do I next puzzle? Oh, right. Yeah. Okay, so this is each one of the boxes is there's a lot of these. We're not going to register it obviously because it's wares, but I'm curious about this. Cracked by Dansk Division. Do not redistribute. Oh, they don't even have a cool demo. It used to be all the rage. If you were part of a group that was cracking software, you had to have a sick little animation that would play so that people would know how cool your software cracking group was. Okay, so this we know the goblin can't be just blocked off entirely. And in fact, those are the only 2 walls in that row. So there will never be a 2x2 open space. Oh, I'm just realizing I didn't even read this because I was so immediately focused on getting to play a puzzle game. Dungeons and Diagrams is a fun little puzzle game that spread through the office. It was an older version than this with simpler graphics. Someone gave it to me, who got it from his friend, who got it from a different friend, and so on. That's how things spread. Can verify. Acquired a lot of video games in that way in the first 15 years of my life. The guy who made it was in Finland, but nobody knew how to contact him. And we all would have liked to send him some money, but how? Eventually I was able to make contact by going through a connection in the Sawayama Nordic office. Such a small world back then. Okay, I kind of want to keep an eye on this just to see if solving more puzzles pops up more text. So this seems problematic though, right? Like, the way I have this built, I guess actually, hold on. Do I know these? I guess this one I know because no, I don't. This could be, yeah, this hallway space could be broken up. No. I guess this does have to be. It doesn't, because like these could be walls and this path would be totally legitimate. I made some bad assumptions here, actually. Hold on. The only thing we actually know is this, because it's totally possible that the hallway just runs past these. So hold on. We don't actually know the thing that I thought I knew there. So there are 7 tiles here. 6 of them have to be wall. This one has to be open. So these six are all walled. That means that this is definitely... So the chest room is this 3x3 or this 3x3. I guess, actually, we don't know, do we? Oh, no, we do know. Monsters are always in dead ends, right? So there has to be a block here. This has to be the wall, and that means this also has to be a block, right? If I'm understanding the rules correctly. And then either one of these two is the other block, because we know this space is treasure room. But we don't actually know which one of these two is the hallway, and it could be either. Where does that leave us? We still... Oh, these are all wall, because they would all have to be in order for this column or this row to have 4 walls in it. What else is necessarily true? Well, I mean, this space is empty for sure, which I guess is information. That does mean this space is empty, because we can't block off the goblin. But a bunch of these spaces are empty. Okay, that one we know. So somewhere around here we have the connection between this hall area and this hall area. Oh, I guess this column only has just enough spaces left over. That gives us some information right there. So we can't ever have a 2x2 space available. This must be a wall. There we go. That's cool. And we're just going to keep playing this until our download quota is cleared. Then we'll check out the next game. Ooh, check that out. The Graveyard of the Vernal King. Okay, so that one's pretty easy. What else do we know for sure? I guess we know this and this are empty, which means it doesn't necessarily mean that, because again, this could all just be open path and these could be walls, right? Or at least some of them. I think I made a bad assumption in the first puzzle where I was like, where I assumed that of the 7 spaces, like we had a column with a 7 in it, and I assumed that the middle 6 would be blocked, and that's true in normal nonograms where a single number represents the size of a contiguous group. But I think that assumption was not, it turned out to be correct, but it was not actually safe. Okay, so there are 3 more wall tiles in the 6 clear spaces here, but we do know that the chest is attached to 2 blank spaces. It's almost information. It's very close to being information, because it still means outside of the chest's 3x3, there's 1 more wall space and 1 more open space, and they really could be in like any arrangement. The 5 is almost enough to work with. It is pretty easy for this to be like wall here, then a hallway here that has a wall above it to make this a fair dead end. But it could also totally be that this is an open hallway. These are 3 separate little dead ends off of it. And then the 2 wall tiles are here and here. Yeah, absolutely could be. There are 5 wall tiles in these 6 openings. Can we do anything with that? Unfortunately, we don't know for sure. No, wait, we do know for sure because this is open. We know all 3 of those spaces must be walls, right? That's information. So that means these are all open. Okay, yeah, that's something. We can work with that. If that is true, at least, so we have this big hallway here. We have an awful lot of columns where we almost know which tiles are blocks. I guess, okay, this column is also cleared. So all of these are open, which means that one's not. That's somewhat helpful. It still could be the case that any one of these 3 is the other wall in this row, though, huh? At least I think so. 5 of 6. 5 of 6. Yeah. Still a lot of places where we're like almost ready to make the guess. I guess, okay, if we know these are open, then do we know that these 3 are walls necessarily? Every dead end has a monster in it. So yes, we do know those are walls. We know this is empty. So with these 3 being open, unfortunately, we're going to have some number. We could potentially have some number of walls here. It's very difficult to tell where the bottom of the treasure room can be safely. This whole row only has 2 blocks in it, huh? Well, does this have to be a wall? I guess here's a question. Like, were this to be the treasure 3x3? There's this hallway area outside that doesn't actually have a 2x2 outside of the treasure room in it because part of the only places where there is a 2x2, part of that 2x2 is part of the treasure room, and it did say the rules were that there were no 2x2s outside of the treasure room because obviously the treasure room has 4 of them. But hallways have to be 1x1, right? So I think this has to be closed and these have to be open. I think that's right. So we only have 2 blocks. Okay, so these have to be the rest of the treasure room because there's not enough walls in this row to close this off. And if that's the case, then this also is a block. And that means this is open, which tells us that those are where the rest of the walls go in that column. This must be open to keep the hallway contiguous. These all, 1, 2, 3, 4. These are not all walled, actually. And once again, we're in a place where we're 1 tile short of certainty on a bunch of these rows and columns. We're going to be able to download our new game pretty soon here. But obviously, I want to finish this puzzle first. So how would this... I guess, actually, sorry. We should start the download for the next puzzle and then finish this thing while that's happening. Let's just go down the list, yeah? 20th century food court. See if you can make food for people in the future. See if you can make food for people in the future. Basic English sentence structure. In this factory game from Zachtronics. definitely a weird premise, but once you try it, you might enjoy it, especially if you are technically minded. 4 skulls. The interface reminds me of this guy I know who has a whole room in his house dedicated to a machine that makes electronic noise. It sounds terrible, but he loves it. I pressed the wrong button. Okay, that one's gonna be a minute. That's fine. Okay, so I guess, sorry, these have to be closed because, yes, we have all the walls for that then. Because again, hallways had to be 1 by 1, right? Which means, what does it mean? How does this help? One of these two is, I guess this is definitely a block. So then this has to be a block. And this has to be a block. And then one of these two and one of these two. Are they all legitimate configurations? Right, it's either this one and that one, or this one and that one. And I think they are both. Are they not both legitimate? They both look like solutions. I'm trying to figure out, before I actually click, I'm trying to figure out why one of them wouldn't work. Neither one of them creates an especially open area. Neither one of them creates an additional dead end. Right? Like, this is valid. But if this was here and this was here, maybe some of them just have multiple valid... Oh, no, sorry. If this is here, that's a dead end that doesn't have a monster in it. Yeah, this is the only valid choice. Okay, that one took me longer than it probably should have. Ooh, check these guys out. The shifting walls. I mean, probably not, right? Probably it's a pretty static number of walls. Okay. All of the monsters have open spaces in front of them. Monsters judgmental there. I feel bad about that. I guess we know this is also all open. So... all of the hallways have to just be 1 by 1. Three of these 4 and 3 of these 4. Well, okay. There must be blocks here, because that's the only way we prevent ourselves from making an open 2 by 2 space. That doesn't necessarily give me a ton to work on. So like there is a path running through the middle here, right? We don't know exactly where. Okay, so one of these two is, one of these two is, one of these and one of those. And then that leaves just 2 blocks unaccounted for in the middle? No, 3 blocks unaccounted for. Well, no. It's actually hard to say, right? Because we don't know exactly where almost anything is. So there's going to be, like... Thank you. Yeah, we'll finish this dungeon and diagram and then check out the food thing. Like, let me just sketch this out. This is not an answer. I'm just playing in the space a little bit here. Right, so then this is open. Okay, yeah, that's invalid because we have to put this down to prevent to prevent ourselves creating a 2 by 2, and if we do that, it creates a dead end. Okay, so it's a little bit more prescriptive than I was thinking, but I'm not exactly sure how to divine it. So we're gonna have hate to just like do a bunch of guess and check, but I'm going to. Question mark. So okay. 3 of these 4 tiles are blocked. Only 2 of these 4 are blocked. If I do this, it gets a lot easier to avoid making a 2x2 space anywhere. And then we like fill in somewhere. I had to be a little bit more careful not to create another 2x2 space. No, sorry, that one's good. We need that and that. That's totally legitimate. I knew it was gonna like Z-shape through there, but I wasn't 100% sure what the orientation was gonna be. Okay. There are so many of those. I'm excited to come back to that, but let's check out what am I doing? That was exactly where that needed to be. Let's check out what else is on the drive. Can I not context sensitive double clicks? Apparently not quite on the system. Also, can't help but notice our disk usage filling up. Here we go. Damn, here we go again. Shout outs to all true hackers. Yeah. All right, this is what you want to see in an unlock screen. SATA block. Hope you got that disk drive fixed. Tansk division. Hey, we know those guys. Selenium Wolf, Deadlock. These are all good classic cracker names. French Syndicate, and of course Hydroponics. You know him, you love him. This was cracked by Gast. You know, I guess that makes sense. It's really her color scheme. It's like really her color scheme. Okay. I do not want to join the finest crew around. I guess we have a modem here. There was a number on that. I wonder if we could... Okay, let's stay focused. 20th Century Food Court. It's my favorite kind. I dig the VGA. Greetings, operator. Historians agree that eating was of primary importance to the people of the 20th century, and that's why the 20th Century Experience takes special care to present authentic recreations of the simple but hearty meals humans ate during this period. As part of our commitment to offering our visitors the real deal, the 20th Century Food Court uses only late 20th century equipment to prepare all of its food. Many diners tell us they can tell the difference between the mass-produced molecular synthesized food of other historical recreations and ours, which is lovingly handmade with humble factory robotics. Robots can have hands too. We trust you'll be able to get up to speed using this equipment to manufacture these authentic ancient foods quickly and efficiently. Okay, that's the letter, I guess. A showcase of all the richness and variety the ancients had to offer, pretzels and nachos, foods from the opposite ends of the earth, commingle harmoniously in this demonstration of the sheer power and scale of the 20th century's great trade caravans. Sure, okay. Oops, right, sorry. Let's open the blank solution. Oh, this is some Zachtronics shit right here. How does this work? Okay, left click to create a wire or conveyor, left click to move stuff around, clone a part with control left. Okay, so tray, nachos, pretzel. Stack the nachos on the tray, dispense the cheese. Okay. Wire a stacker to itself to make it eject after stacking. I only kind of understand this. We're gonna get in here and mess with it. Okay, scanner scans barcodes on passing trays. If barcode is present, provides information on what was ordered. And the stacker, the first project to enter is held until the eject input is activated. Subsequent products will be stacked on the held product. It seems like we don't need logic modules here, probably. This is very weird. Okay, hold on. Wait, how does this work? Hold on. Right, I understand how to draw the things. How do I actually, like, fire the puzzle? Oh, I can just move this thing around? Okay, so these are the dispensers. There's no product beneath this dispenser. Yeah. I'm having a little bit of trouble even grasping the UI on this one. Like, what are the different sort of like register rows here actually? Yeah, I can't do anything at all. I can't rotate. No, wait, I can totally rotate. What was the... A and D keys. Okay. Aha! So I need this to expel a part. Okay, right. So the problem here is I have the first instruction going from start to cheese. Okay, how do I just get rid of a wire? Okay, I thought I right-clicked on that. Like, it said to right-click on that before. So, how does this actually work, though? Okay, if I step like this, it's going to create a nacho. And obviously this is problematic because we need the food to go in the tray. But one problem at a time here. Let me, I want to stack them on top of each other. There we go. Now see, they wait politely. Okay, so the stacker is not optional. Ah, and that's gonna be a problem. Okay, hold on a second. It's a little weird to get the belts to draw. Get rid of that. Am I not allowed to run this into here? Okay, let me try this then. Put this down here. So right, this will run into that. Can't they? Do they have to arrive in the other order? I'm just gonna, totally figure this out live. There we go. Okay, yeah. It's clean, they just have to arrive in the other order. Okay, so once the stack has occurred, am I allowed to have this here? No, it's got to have its own. It can't over top. Okay, so when how does this work? Because the thing is, if I go like stacker to cheese, we're getting the same problem, right? As soon as things hit the stacker, yeah, as soon as the stacker does its thing, the cheese is going to try to dispense, which is why I wanted it to be on this tile, but it can't be on that tile. So I had to have the cheese thing triggered a different way. need to rotate that. Okay. So if start pretzel, just gonna move this up here for clarity. Then I guess this is a problem because I still need this thing to be in a place where it can actually. There we go. This thing to be in a place where it could theoretically actually put some cheese down. I guess we can do it on the cycle after the nacho spawn. This should still work, right? Okay, start, pretzel comes out. The other thing also comes out, which is fine. I need the pretzel to arrive second. As we're continuing to rearrange things. Oh, the dispenser has to be on the box dispenser has to be up here. Okay, how about this? Oh, and it has to be facing downward. Okay. Right, so that'll work. Okay. Then when the stacking happens, you nacho, and when the nacho happens, you cheese. Oh, I know, but it's also. Why did that fire already? Oh, the logic runs this way. Okay, because stacking happened, nacho, and then nacho. When nacho happened, we cheese. There's no product beneath this dispenser. So, like, am I supposed to? It gives me the warning instantly. But if it's going to give me the warning at the sort of the opening of the puzzle, isn't it always going to be true that there's no product beneath the dispenser? Like, isn't that not a solvable problem? All right, hold on. So we can use the scanner to set up timings, right? I understand the value of this now, as I'm starting to understand the UI for this. Okay, so the first thing we want to come through is cheese. A cheesy nacho. So I'm going to need to redesign this whole damn thing. We are going to need a stacker, for sure, at least one stacker. So we want to dispense nacho. We want the cheese dispenser to be like, right? Okay, does that work the way I want it to? And then this would be here. Okay, does this work the way I want it to? Oh, sorry, I need to actually set, sorry. When the scanner scans nacho, fire the cheese machine. And when the whole Magilla starts, dispense some nachos. Right, it scans the barcodes on the boxes. It can't just scan a nacho. So this whole deal has to be after the stacker. Stacker, okay, the stacker's not going to let go. Right, you have to fire the eject command to let the stacker. Okay, does this work? Hey, it does. Okay, then you have to also produce a pretzel. And again, we need the box to get delivered first. So also, whenever anything is scanned, pretzel? Right, because now this will cause the pretzel to dispense. Ah, but the box hasn't come out yet. What are the rules for this? Okay, so when the machine is empty, it does start. It fires start. So we don't want start to always produce a pretzel. How do we get... There's only one box emitter. So it's always going to just emit whatever it wants. I'm figuring it out slowly. I'm figuring out how the UI works. Okay, so then it asks for a pretzel. Pretzel comes out, but it also fired the start command, so we got nacho. So what I need is like... It doesn't actually matter where the stacker piece is, right? If I do this, what does this actually mean? Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. When the nacho command fires, a pretzel also fires. But that's like a problem, right? That's gonna sit there until the box comes through, and then it's gonna cause an issue. In fact, the next box is never going to come through for whatever reason. I thought what was gonna happen there was it was gonna I thought what was going to happen there was it was going to dispense the second box, and then the second box was going to run into the arm, and we were going to get... It was going to be mad at us. Maybe I need... So if we don't connect this to here, I'm wondering about like... Okay, I have a thought. We don't get to control the output timing of the box, but we do get to control the output timing of the pretzel. If we do... So the stacker... Okay, the stacker does this. Give me this thing. Okay. When the stacker fires its stack command, when it puts the nacho down in the box, it also spawns the pretzel. And then when a pretzel is spawned, that fires the eject command on the stacker. That gives us a pretzel here, and it's too early, but the pretzel takes a while to reach this, and the box will spawn before the pretzel gets there? If my understanding of the machine is correct this time? No, for whatever reason... Yeah, this didn't fire. Well, I'll tell you, what I need is another scanner. Maybe? What if I put scanner B down? And when scanner B scans a pretzel, it does this. Will that work? Sure didn't. Huh. Oh, because, right, what am I talking about? The scanner scanned the boxes. So this... I thought this command was going to fire when a pretzel was spawned, but it clearly doesn't. So... Well, this is the box dispenser, though, right? So this will play when the pretzel box is dispensed. Yeah, that's the problem. I'm not thinking about this as the box dispenser. I'm thinking about Nacho and Pretzel here as being the spawn commands for the food items, not the spawn commands for the boxes. So actually, this should work just fine then, right? Yeah, because it spawns a Nacho when a Nacho box comes out, or a Pretzel when a Pretzel box comes out. I think that's probably the element of this I had wrong. Yep, and that means that the whole timing issue is not a real concern. Yep, well, I feel very silly, but I got there eventually. We managed. So you can see here the histograms, the classic histograms. This one is measuring the number of cycles it took for our solution to run. Now that I understand what I'm doing, I could lower that number from 13. And here we have just kind of a loose representation of everybody else who has solved that puzzle. So most people get it done in this number for that price. I'm going to go back and do this puzzle again now that I understand how the pieces work. A showcase of all the richness and variety the ancients had to offer. This puzzle has reviews, I guess. Really gives you a sense of what life was like for these people. Everyone should experience it at least once in their lives. Or this is in universe of this game, in universe of the food court game, not in universe of Last Call BBS. People giving reviews to the food that they're getting to try. 4 stars. My boyfriend could not stop talking about this place. I kind of get it, but I kind of don't. And 1 star from the Granola King because they stopped free slushy day. I'd be mad too. Okay, hold on a second. I can clean this up now that I have some idea what the heck I'm doing. Is that the tightest that can get? Because we do need the boxes to come out first. Yeah, if we set these up any closer. Yeah. This is right. Okay, better. 70k, 8 cycles. That's what the majority of people managed. That makes sense to me. Also, recording GIFs. The original Hot Pocket experience. I had to include a game by Zachtronics in this little collection. Here, this is a note about the 20th century food court. They were an odd duck in a whole lake full of odd ducks. In those early days, there wasn't much common wisdom about what computer games should be, so you saw all kinds of approaches that would seem bizarre today. There's a little bit of sort of poking fun at themselves from the Zachtronics crew here. Imagine a whole studio dedicated to making games where you basically had to do computer programming to beat them. Quite a niche, right? They were based in Harrogate in the UK, and I met the founder, Zachary McGann, once at a Sawayama event. I love games where you basically have to do programming to beat them. Alright, the original Hot Pocket experience. Recently unearthed from an underground cache and frozen for over 700 years, these original Hot Pockets are, approximately as fresh as the day they were made. Don't miss out, available for a limited time only. Yeah, let's do it. Okay, I kind of understand how the thing works now. So here we also have a microwave and a counter. Continuously modifies an internal counter value by pre-programmed amounts when 1 or more inputs are active. So timers and stuff. Okay. Outputs indicate when the current value is 0 or positive. So we are going to need a microwave for sure. Is this my Hot Pocket spawner? I guess we're gonna need a stacker. Stuff's gotta go in the box. Okay. But probably, right? So, upon the spawn of a pocket box, also spawn a pocket. When the oven takes something in, it should eject it as soon as it's done. Does this work? Ah, okay. I need a counter because things need to stay in the oven for a certain amount of time. I see. 3,000 to 5,000. How do we know? I guess we got the 3,000. Ah, because, okay, there's 2 items that go in that entry. So one of them is the 3, the other one's the 5. Okay, I have no idea how long to cook these for. So when you sense one, start cooking. How exactly does this work? Does this like... Okay, 0 things in output. So it goes in for 4 ticks, and then when it hits 0, it ejects. Is that how I've set this up? No, absolutely not. Right, because it increments the number, right? So it has to be negative... No, wait, why is that? Right, so sense fires... Oh, the counter's at 0 right now, though. Shoot. How do I... The 0's the only output. Oh, I need to... Okay, so when the program starts, it will decrement the counter by 4. Or I guess hold on. Let's make this a -1 because I'm just like playing around with it here. So what I think I'm putting in here is when the program starts, we set the counter to -4. When the oven, every tick where the oven senses that there's something in it, we increment the counter by 1. That was an accidental right click. And then when the counter reaches 0, it ejects the thing. So we're cooking the thing for 4 cycles. Cool. And we can tighten that up. Because the whole deal has to sit still for 4 cycles anyway. There we go. Rockabye Baby gives it 1 star. They say these are from 700 years ago, but I don't believe it. I know times were tough back then, but there's no way ancient people put up with these. I restrained myself from buying Hot Pockets last time I was buying groceries. Bubba G, 4 stars. Ever since I read that ancient warriors would eat these for their raids and dungeons, I have wanted to taste them. Yeah, I've done that. And the year 2000 gives it 5 stars. We like to make fun of people in olden times, but there were some things they got right. Does this open? This looks like it should open. I can't open it. Let's do one more, and then we'll pop back out. I'm sure we're ready to look at our next game. I should probably actually... Hold on. I should read the text. A staple of any ancient human's consumption patterns, the alcoholic fermented grape juice known as wine came in thousands of varieties and was priced expensively enough to plausibly explain its overuse as a kind of inoffensive hobby. So there's red and white. The multi-mixer combines up to 4 input signals, allowing the output signal to be used up to 4 times. If present, the enable input must also be active for the outputs to activate. Okay, so it's like an OR gate and an AND gate. There's also a sorter. Well, okay, hold on. What are we actually going to need here? So this thing's going to dispense I'm not clear. This is... Okay, this thing's in a dispense tray. This dispenses the glass. I see. All right, so... that being the case, we are going to need a stacker. Okay, so... wait. So whenever anything spawns, we want to run a glass. So we are going to want a multi-mixer for this. No, sorry. This is absolutely an ore. What am I doing? Right, so if red or white spawns, we need a glass. Then... no, sorry. We can just make this on start. For some reason, in my head, I was thinking start would only fire once, but start fires at the beginning of the process of each thing spawning, not just once at the beginning of the puzzle. So never mind me. Am I allowed a scanner here? Yeah. Okay. So when the scan occurs... if it sees a red thing, or yeah, it does that, right? And then so at the start of the process, we spawn a glass, then stacker puts the glass on the tray, tray gets scanned. If tray says red, we put red wine in the glass, right? Does this not work? Doesn't it? Oh, I see. That's a greater pour. Weird. Okay, weird. I think it's more wine in the glass. Okay, so then I am gonna need multi-mixers. Wait, but there's no way to fire the pour command multiple times, right? Hold on. Let me put this back over here. So the problem visibly was that this is not enough wine. Right, that's the difference between this and that. Well, maybe. Like, if we were including the top of the glass here... maybe? But if I only have one... holds each product until an input is activated, dispatches the held product. Okay, we need a sorter... hold the product here. So when it's... how would we get a second pour out of it? If that is even indeed what we need to do. I think it's what we need to do. I wish that the yeah, okay. The instructions are actually meaningfully different in each puzzle. So I was right. It's dispense wine and then again to fill. So how would I even do that? So when you sense one, it needs to go one way one time and then a different way the next time. What would make it do that? Because we're going to sense that there is wine in it both times. Am I allowed to use? Yeah, okay, we are allowed to use a counter. Huh. So I need something to set the counter and then something to drop the counter. Okay, so it comes to here. We have it pour. This part's right. We have it pour whatever it pours. But also, when we scan, if I have the scanner and the pour thing in the same place, this gets a little trickier, right? Because I can't use the scanner as a start. Okay, how about this? When we put the let's say that. When we put the scanner, or when the stacker puts the wine bottle on the thing, it increments the counter by 2. And then each time the thing comes through here, we want to decrement the counter. So whenever the scan occurs, we want to decrement the counter. And if the counter is 0, then how does this work, though? Does it check the outputs in order? Because when it's on the scanner, or when it's on the splitter, it's going to trigger the sort, or the sense behavior. We didn't have a way of getting the stacker to eject anyway. Like in the long run, that puzzle wasn't going to work. So here we have the same behavior where it's stack and immediately eject. Now we're setting the counter to 2 when the sorter. No, that's not going to work because what I need to do is I need a conditional here. The way I'm trying to put this together, I'm using the sensor as a conditional, the sensor on the sorting machine as a conditional, which actually, looking at the way the wires are given, the way the inputs and outputs are given to us, just is never going to work, right? So there's only one output on a counter. So we can't use the counter to create a conditional either, right? Like we can't say if 0 spit out to the left, if non-zero spit out to the right, because there's no if non-zero output here. So in order to do a conditional, we have to use the multi-mixer, where it's like It's like if sense and 0 then go right, but these are only gonna fire. I need to split this. So this is any input causes a green light. This is, we get a green light if this output is positive, if this input is positive, and also one of these three is positive. So how do I... apologies, obviously this is not super counterintuitive to me. So this thing has to, like, the rough idea here, right, is that this emits... It can't be like that. But we want it to loop around once. I guess I have to move the whole assembly down one, I think, so that we can have it loop around cleanly. When the bottle is only half full, this gets sent back, or when the glass is only half full, it gets sent back. So, let me make sure I understand how these work. We're gonna try something here. So when stack fires, set the counter to 2, and also eject. Let's just make sure that I understand how the machines even work. Okay, so the counter is at 2. Now, when the counter... When this thing senses, we decrement the counter by 1. If this thing is given no explicit orders, okay, it never gets rid of... It does have to move the... It does have to move the thing. So wait, can I just leave it right here? Because we'll have a second cycle where it's getting scanned. Oh. We don't actually even have to send it around then. Okay, sorry. When we get a 0, we don't need you. When we get a 0, we just send it through? Because this way we can just hold on to it for 2 cycles. Sorry, I did a bad fence post there. I think that should work. I was taking the game's word for it that I needed to do a route around thing, but actually it's totally fine to just have it be held perfectly in place for 2 cycles. And okay, I should have made sure that I understood how the splitter was going to treat the tray if it had no inputs earlier in the process, maybe. The Granola King gives it 1 star. Expensive, tastes sour and gross. Old-time humans were weird. Right on, Granola King. Chris R, 5 stars. Wine was a mark of sophistication in the 20th century, and it's easy to see why. I detected notes of soy lecithin, cinnamon, mouthfeel, and normcore. And the other man, 3 stars. I didn't know wine was alcoholic. Well, I guess, it's not his fault he didn't know. It's very uncommon where he's from, I guess. In the future, where there isn't wine anymore, for whatever reason. We're going to end the episode here in a moment, but before we do that, let's go ahead and download the Steed Force Hobby Studio. You don't have to be a fan of the Steed Force TV show or even know what it is to enjoy this model building simulator toy. Snap pieces together and paint them with different colors. Fix decals if you want. Have fun. There's no particular goal here apart from getting to play with cool robots without needing to spend hundreds of dollars to import the real deal. I know some people who are very into this sort of thing. So I'm gonna hit download file here. And then I'm gonna end the episode. And when y'all come back next time, tomorrow, we will have Steed Force Hobby Studio downloaded, and apparently we'll just play with it. It sounds like it's not in fact a game at all, maybe sort of an activity, and it'll keep us entertained until we have the next thing downloaded. It did take me a while to figure out that Food Studio one. I think I'm kind of there with it now, but playing puzzle games in front of people, it's just terrifying, deeply terrifying. That's going to be it for us for today for Last Call BBS. Thank you all so much for watching. When y'all come back next time tomorrow, we're going to continue to fiddle with this thing. I don't know exactly how much of this we'll put on camera. I probably don't want to play all of the levels in all of the puzzle games, but we're going to at least look at everything. So there'll be, a couple more. So come back next time for that, and we'll see you then.